Alright, so today I woke up and I chose violence. So I was sleeping, right? And Soulcalibur was already on my mind for some reason. But when I woke up, something just told me to check my email. And I got an email from Namco, Bandai, whatever, and they're just like, don't miss any of these announcements. And I'm like, "F that, I don't care about these announcements." So I sent them an email back, and this is what I said. I said, make a Soulcalibur 7. Bring back as many of the OG team as possible, give them a good budget and all the time they need, and let them make the damn game. Stop being greedy and money hungry, and treat your fans who have stuck with you since Soulcalibur / Soulblade was on the Dreamcast. It's not right, no it's not fair. So, I've been playing Soulcalibur since before it was on the Dreamcast actually. When I first played it, it was in the arcade, and it was called Soul Edge. But for whatever reason, they changed it, right? I guess like copyright or something like that. Some weird Mandela effect thing. But it was called Soul Edge first, and then it was called Soul Blade. And then when I got my hands on it on the Dreamcast, it was back to Soulcalibur. Which, I'll be honest with you, I think Soulcalibur ultimately was the best name for it, so it had to go through those different iterations. Anyway, I've been playing this game for a very long time, and I'm like, it's just not fair for them to do that. Dragon Ball Z made a comeback, right? After all those freaking years. Tekken is on number 8, and I'm like, Soulcalibur is one of the most unique fighting franchises to ever exist, right? There's not a lot of games where you get combat with actual weapons. There's some games where they throw weapons in there as little special moves. I think, which Mortal Kombat game was that where they first added the weapons on there and stuff like that? But it's just like, Soulcalibur's identity is based around weapon combat. It's always been like that. I mean, you could say Samurai Showdown, that's like the only other one that I'm familiar with. I'm sure there's more, but I mean, from the time it came out all the way up until current day, that's been Soulcalibur's identity, the weapon combat, you know? Take pride in that, right? Take pride in that. It's not always about the sales. Mind you, Soulcalibur 6 still sold very well. It didn't hit those crazy inflated numbers that your greedy corporate overheads want, but it sold well to people who love the franchise. Bring Soulcalibur back. I'm gonna go through the sales right now, because they're always obsessed with sales. Soulcalibur 6 sold over 2 million units. That's double platinum if you want to look at album sales. Look at this, 2 million. And if you go through the history throughout the Soulcalibur games, the first Soulcalibur sold 1 million, Soulcalibur 2 sold almost 3 million. 3, it didn't do so well, but it still did pretty good. Soulcalibur 4 sold over 2 million copies. Even 5, which was one I really didn't personally like that much, it sold over 1 million copies. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You didn't sell as many copies as Tekken or Street Fighter, right? But it's like, these games are some of the most popular fighting games in the world. You're not going to compete with those games. But that doesn't mean just neglect Soulcalibur. You know, there's still an audience who loves who loves this game franchise. And for you to just say, damn, we're not gonna make any more games, that's fucked up, Namco. I mean, come on, like, you gotta take care of every part of your community. You can't just like show favoritism to one side of your community and be like, well, forget the other side because it's not selling as much as we want. That's fucked up. The game still has a core fan base who loves the game and who will always love the game, and who the core fan base who have stuck with you, people like myself and others who have stuck with you since the game was called Soul Blade, Soul Edge, Soulcalibur, whatever you want to call it. Those of us who have been there from the beginning, even those of us who have came later, who have come to love the game and its uniqueness, the character creation, the characters, the story, the lore, everything about it. And it's just not right for you guys to just up and just stop making it because it doesn't it doesn't make the amount of sales that your overinflated, money hungry, greedy, grubby hands is always thinking about. Stop thinking about money. Gaming is not, when gaming first started, it was never about money. And this is the problem that happens when money kind of gets involved into different art forms. You know, we see it all the time, whether it be music, whether it be art, you know, anything that is an art form. When money and business starts getting involved, it starts to lose its core values on what it was built. And, you know, gaming, when gaming first came out, it wasn't about money. People didn't even believe in gaming at that time. They say, oh, you guys want to make a what? They laughed at them. They said, here. These developers were begging for loans and money to say, hey, we got this cool idea. We just need a little bit of scratch and we can make this happen. And they would say, you know what, here, take this money. You know you owe me back, right? Take this money, you owe me back. So no matter whether it's a success or if it's a failure, you're in debt to us, right? And they say, got it, no problem. They went on to make video games and they did well in sales. And then that's when the overheads are like, yo, we need you to make another one of those. All right, here's however much money you need. We need you to make another one of those, right? And that's how it began. And then it started getting more and more popular, and the companies and everybody started jumping on the bandwagon until it became this thing of like, look, we don't care what you're doing, just make us money. And it's like, that's not what gaming was built on. Gaming was built on creative ideas. These developers were, these were the nerdy guys, you know? These were the nerdy guys in school, the guys who liked to draw, the guys who played with action figures and liked all these different things. And they said, you know what, we want to create this cool thing. And they come up with these amazing games that we know and love to this day. And they created something special. Hideo Kojima with Metal Gear, you know, the Final Fantasy guys, the Soulcalibur guys, the list goes on and on and on. But my point is, gaming needs to get back to its roots when it wasn't so much about money. The world doesn't, that's the problem with the world. Everything is about money. Everybody's so greedy and money hungry. Get back to the core basic values of just creating something beautiful. Stop worrying about that. If you create something from the heart, something that's pure, something that's beautiful, unique, the money will come. That's a natural byproduct of creating something that people resonate with and something that people love. Bro, you're not going to sell 10 million units and all these crazy things, but people are still buying the game. People still love the game. What else did I say in that email? I said, remember, character creation is what makes the game live on for generations. If you guys are hell-bent on stopping Soulcalibur, get the team back together one last time and give us fans a magnum opus, Soulcalibur 7. And I agree with that. I'm like, and I was just thinking about this earlier. You don't even have to make a Soulcalibur 7. Just take Soulcalibur 6 and do kind of like what they did with Naruto, right? They did like Naruto Connections or whatever it's called. I don't know because I don't really play those games. But take Soulcalibur 6, upgrade it, put more content in it, upgrade the graphics, put more character creation options in it, and just give us like a beefed up version of Soulcalibur 6. If you don't want to put the money into it, which you should, right? It's not always about sales. Games aren't always about sales. They're obsessed with making money. And it's just like, that shit has become such a plague that it just overshadows the whole point of creating art, you know? I'm so, as a longtime Soulcalibur fan, I get so angry because it's like, there's still a fan base for this game. At this point in the video, I was just done, but I want to say thank you to everyone who watched the video, and if you feel the same way, please let me know down in the comments. Somehow, I hope we can eventually get Soulcalibur 7 made. Definitely hit that like button so it can push this video out to a wider audience. Maybe the right person will come across it, and we can get something going.